Welcome to Know Your Mobile. I'm Basil. This is a Sony Xperia Z. This is an HTC One X Plus, and we're here to quickly compare both phones for you. The Sony Xperia Z is a new flagship from Sony. Quad-core processor, 5-inch Full HD display, and water resistance and dust resistance. This is a true contender. The first true superphone from Sony. The HTC One X Plus is a superphone in its own right, however. It's older than the Sony Xperia Z, but still packs a quad-core 1.7 GHz Tegra 3 processor. You've also got a 720p display of 4.7 inches and a beautiful matte black unibody design. One of the real fortes about the phone is the 64 GB of internal memory it has. Starting off with the design, and the Sony Xperia Z is glass front and backed. It's something called Dragon Trail glass, and it is very, very tough, apparently. Tougher than Gorilla Glass 2, which is what you'll find on the HTC One X Plus's fascia. The One X Plus fascia looks extremely rich. It's got capacitive buttons below the display, so all you've got in the fascia is full touch screen. And the plastic matte black works very, very nicely with the glossy fascia, and the screen just nuzzles very, very well into it. It's a really, really beautiful, beautiful design, trailing off from the One X and the One XL. If we flip the device around, we can see some nice red accenting on the One X Plus and the Beats Audio logo. This matte finish is gorgeous. We're really huge fans. The Sony Xperia Z is no slouch in the design department. As you can see, despite being black and attracting fingerprints like crazy, it's still a gorgeous, gorgeous glass front and backed phone. The Xperia Z and HTC One X Plus both pack cameras on the reverse. That's an 8 megapixel camera on the HTC One X Plus and a 13 megapixel on the Xperia Z. 13 megapixel Sony Exmor RS sensor, which is a new sensor that enables HDR video recording. If we jump into the actual screens, we can find out a little bit about them. And the HTC One X Plus, for starters, packs a 720p display that's 4.7 inches. It's SLCD2 technology and has the most gorgeous viewing angles known to man. It really is a lovely, lovely, rich display. The Sony Xperia Z packs a Bravia Engine 2 display. Bravia Engine 2 is Sony's new display technology for mobile Bravia Engine 2, and it produces extremely vibrant colors head-on. It's also very, very bright. Viewing angles do wash the display out a little bit, however the clarity is absolutely insane. The Full HD at 5 inches packs a PPI of 443 or thereabouts. That means it's really the sharpest display on the block. If we move on to the actual user interfaces, and you can see we've thrown the Sony wallpaper on the HTC One X Plus, which is a bit cheeky of us. However, the HTC packs Sense 4.4 Plus. Sense is is HTC's user interface. Sony have their own user interface on their phone. If we put them both down, we can see the functionality is the same. You've got home screens, which you can thumb through very easily. Pinch the home screens, and on the Sony Xperia Z, you get a home screen overview that lets you swipe through and delete entire home screens. On the HTC One X Plus, you just get this leap mode from HTC, and it's something that they've become very, very famous for, or synonymous with HTC products in general. You can get rid of home screens on both very easily on the HTC One X Plus by just dragging them out, on the Sony Xperia Z by just pressing X. If we jump into a home screen, for example, we can see Sony pack a bunch of widgets that are really, really nice to use. HTC do exactly the same though. Widgets on the HTC One X Plus tend to take entire home screens. However, this really does add a huge amount of functionality. So we can see we've got a friend stream widget showing us all our tweets, pictures showing off all our pictures, and a calculator widget. The Sony Xperia Z's widgets are considerably smaller generally, but they still add a very, very nice amount of function and aesthetic. Both devices have very, very similar apps drawers, and they are very, very easy to get your head around, although the Sony Xperia Z is maybe easier to order, giving you more options to do so. Moving on to the cameras, and the 8 megapixel camera on the HTC One X Plus has performed very, very well in the past. It is, however, a tried and tested and slightly dated lens and camera combination. Its f2 lens is fantastic, don't get us wrong, but it doesn't perform the best in highly lit conditions. Well-lit conditions look a little bit overblown, and generally pictures can be somewhat washed out. There's also a degree of over-softening, which means you don't get as much detail as some other 8 megapixel cameras on the market, such as that on the Samsung Galaxy S3. On the Sony Xperia Z, you've got a new 13 megapixel Exmor RS sensor. It looks fantastic in terms of the user interface of the camera. If we jump into it for you quickly, we can see Sony have completely revamped the interface to give you a whole host of new shooting modes. HTC do the same and have done so for a while, so it's nice to see Sony catching up with HTC on this front. The way that HTC have done this and pioneered this is in terms of having a unified display for both video and photos. This means when you're in a camera shooting mode, just press the video button and you're immediately recording video. Sony have borrowed this and you can now do the same, making for very quick fire videos. Sony do, however, better HTC's One X Plus with their burst mode. This captures photos at an astounding 10 frames per second. That's better than anything else on the market, and that's at 9 megapixels, by the way. Jumping into the settings again, and picture effects is also considerably more attractive. If we view picture effects on the One X Plus, we can see they're all live. However, they aren't as easy to navigate through, whereas you get an on-screen preview in this grid on the Sony Xperia Z. Finally, video, and that is again where the Sony Xperia Z wins out. The reason being, you've got HDR video. If we jump into video, whoops, we're in normal, jump into video, we can see HDR video. Pressing it, you can see, pressing it on, it will just pull out more detail. And if we look at blacks, for example, that's one area that's really evident. The reason being, it's very difficult to get a great tonal range in blacks. If we turn it off, it'll just look a little bit blockier. Okay, maybe not the best example. But either way, the HDR video, we've used it before, does really work to great effect. Finally, batteries and processors. The Sony Xperia Z packs a quad-core 1.5 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon S4. HTC One X Plus packs a 1.7 GHz Tegra 3. The Tegra 3 has has in the past been associated with poor battery life. However, the One X Plus does have a larger capacity battery to help along, and we can comfortably get a day out of it. We haven't put the Sony Xperia Z through its paces in terms of battery. However, do know that the Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 chip is more power efficient from our experience, and that might not be the case with this handset. One thing Sony do, which is great, is pack something called battery stamina mode though. If we jump into power management, we can see stamina mode. What this does is it deactivates applications when the screen is off and prevents them connecting. This is a great way to stop rogue applications from draining your battery and eating up your data. You can whitelist applications such as WhatsApp, for example, if you want to keep connected on the fly. So that's been a quick hands-on with the Sony Xperia Z and the HTC One X Plus. We've compared the two. The Sony Xperia Z is weatherproofed, it has a beautiful display, and the styling is infinitely more refined in terms of the glassiness. However, I don't feel it's quite as rugged, despite the fact it is weatherproofed. The polycarbonate body on the HTC One X Plus makes you feel you can chuck it about a little bit more. It's got a gorgeous display again, though not quite as sharp. The user interface is starting to age a little bit, and that's largely thanks to the fact we know Sense 5 is coming at MWC. So if you do have a spare 25 quid a month, 26 quid a month, the HTC One X Plus is a perfect choice for you. If you can bump up to £30–31 a month, the Sony Xperia Z, which will be launching at around that price in the coming months, will be the one to go for. Thanks for watching Know Your Mobile. I've been Basil. This has been a comparison. Leave us your comments below.